my first guest is, give me a hint, shaman, Cowgirl Shaman. And why don't you just bring her in? She'll tell me her name. Oh, I got it. It's Terri something.
Terri Jay.
Terri Jay. Michael's saying it, but I don't hear as well as I used to. I don't see as well as I used to. But certainly I don't remember things like I used to be able to remember. Terri Jay, where are you?
I'm in Minden, Nevada.
Okay.
It's in the Carson Valley.
Carson Valley, kind of direction of Carson City?
It's south of Carson City, and I'm due east of Lake Tahoe.
Ah, and Carson City's the capital, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Little trivia question. I probably tell you this the same thing every time, but 2 governors of Nevada came from here. Little town called Exeter, California.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah,
that is fascinating.
2 governors. I remember their names probably before the show's over. Now, Cowgirl Shaman, you actually have a book out. What's the name of the book? We're going to get to that in the end, but...
It's called The Cowgirl Shaman Way, 7 Easy Steps to Develop Your Intuitive Ability.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a million questions on that in a
That's
few
okay.
minutes. I wanted to start with, we have one theme going this month, this last couple months, is COVID, COVID, COVID. How do people survive? How do people stay healthy? You got any ideas on those subjects?
Well, the first thing is to use the law of attraction. The law of attraction states what you think about, you bring about. Thoughts are things, thoughts become things. And the highest vibration or frequency that we can hold as a human is love. And the lowest vibration or frequency that we hold is fear. And many, many people go into fear of COVID, and they get it.
Right.
You know, it's like saying, I hope I don't wreck my new car, and then you wreck your new car because the universe just hears what you're focused on, not the yes or the no. And so it's very important to just be happy. Happiness and love, loving everything around you, staying in gratitude, just those simple things can really keep you healthy.
Okay, now what about social interaction? That's what makes me happy.
Well, we have to be very careful when we do it. It doesn't mean we can't do it, but we have to do social distancing, and we need to really make sure that we wash our hands a lot and wear our masks whenever we're around other people. You know, it's really funny, as a cowgirl, we'll go and clean a horse's sheath, which is probably one of the dirtiest things you can clean, and come in and make a sandwich with never washing our hands.
Yeah.
And I've become much more aware of how dirty my hands are all the time because of working with horses and things. So I'm much more aware, and I drive myself to wash my hands a lot more than I ever did.
Right. One thing I've found is that instead of being around 100 people a day or a few hundred a week, I limit myself to 4 or 5 people that I will get closer than the 6 feet to. And then I think that helps. When I go into an establishment, especially our dirty grocery stores around here, I wear the mask, of course. Sometimes I wear rubber gloves, but I'll carry an alcohol wipe just to grab things in the store and open the doors and stuff. And then and I'm not supposed to be going to these restaurants and bars, but when I do, I just go in and find one spot to sit away from everyone else. Then I could take my mask off and breathe a little easy. But
right. But I think just taking precautions, the biggest problem with COVID is the fact that it is so highly, highly contagious. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like 100 times more contagious than any flu. Right. But I really wanted to share this interesting information that I got today. I was reading an article, and they used a supercomputer and put in all of this data from DNA samples. And they used to think that the cytokine storms are what was killing people. And they've actually narrowed it down to the Brady-Kinin hypothesis. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but I still wanted to share it. Brady-Kinin is how you say it, I think. And what they have found out is that is what is killing people. And the interesting thing is there's all kinds of treatments for it, all kinds of treatments. So, and I always said that I think we're going to have really good treatments for COVID before we ever have a vaccine.
Okay. Because,
you know, with vaccines, you always get really bad reactions with some people. And I'm the kind of person that would never get a flu vaccine or a pneumonia vaccine. I just wouldn't ever do it. I never want to put that kind of stuff in my body. So this is really, really exciting news. And very simply, the same article determined that just vitamin D can really help to boost your immune and also prevent the virus from taking hold. Those to me are very, very significant things.
Is vitamin D the one we get from the sun?
Uh-huh. But most people are deficient. I think they said something like 40% of people are deficient in it.
Yeah. Well, nowadays we block the sun. We try not to get sunshine on our face or on our body and stuff like that. So now you say a lot of interesting things. I want to pick them apart a bit. I've seen I was asking my friends all week, hey, are you going to get the vaccine when it comes out? And they're all saying, heck no, not till it's out a while. I watch this crazy show called The View every day. And these women are all women, and they kind of debate politics and stuff. And there's one on there, Joy is her name. I forget her last name, but she says...
Bihar. Yeah,
Joy Behar. She says, I'm going to get it as soon as Donald Trump's daughter gets the vaccine. She won't take it till, the daughter does. But that's the attitude of a lot of people. They're not going to take it till they know it's a real thing.
Right. And I think treating it... also, this is an amazing new discovery, this Brady Kinnin discovery, the hypothesis, really has a lot of significance because it wasn't just people doing experimentation. This was using a master supercomputer to take all of this data and sift through it and find out the why. Mm-hmm. So once you've got the why and you understand what the symptoms really are, then you have incredible, easy treatments, and they're inexpensive too.
There's already treatments out there, so
yes, that's the most amazing thing.
That is interesting. This race to get the vaccine, and we might beat the vaccine by finding a way to treat the illnesses or treat the illness.
And I felt that all along, that they would, break down the different symptoms and in typical allopathic medicine treat the symptoms. Right. But some of them were not treatable. But they've just discovered so many things from analyzing all of this incredible data. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting news. It just came out.
Yeah. I kind of been giving a few people a hard time who've come to complete concrete conclusions on this COVID, that they say it's a hoax, that you don't need face masks, that it's a communist conspiracy. And these people are absolutely sure about it. And I'm thinking, where's your data? Where's your analysis? And you're saying the supercomputer takes multiple layers of data and is doing analyses.
Yes.
And this guy on the corner who is sure, he didn't even graduate from high school, and he's trying to tell us how to live our lives and not get the virus. So, but
and the other thing, too, that I wanted to bring up is energy healing is an incredible component for this. We all make ourselves sick. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. And we don't understand that we're 99% energy and only 1% physical. Well, why is all of allopathic medicine focused on only the 1% physical? Right. We have all of that energy part of our bodies that we really need to work on. And we already know that cells respond to emotions. We know that we feel higher than a kite when we've just fallen in love. Our feet don't touch the ground. Nothing hurts. We feel so good when we first fall in love. And as opposed to when we're grieving, we feel like we're wearing cement shoes. We can't even move. And we feel so painful and lethargic. And so that is a perfect way of noting that the cells respond to emotions. Disease is issues in the tissues. And it doesn't mean throw allopathic medicine out the window. It means let's look at the cause of disease. It's why they won't tell you you're cured. They'll only say you're in remission.
Right. Because
they don't know about the emotional component, which is the cause of disease. It's dis-ease. So people can do energy healing, and I am happy to send energy healing instructions to anybody who wants it, and they can just go ahead and do it themselves. This is the problem with it. It's freaking free. It's free. Nobody's going to make money off of it.
And could they start by going to terryjaycom?
Absolutely. Just email me from my website, and I'm happy to send energy healing instructions to anybody who wants it.
Okay. Now, I want to go back. I keep taking all kinds of crazy directions. But you kind of were saying in the beginning, I didn't let you expound on it very much, maybe as a preventative measure, you could use some of these energies and emotions to help you keep from getting the disease.
Absolutely. I always say there's no room in a happy body for disease. But we have to really think about not just being superficially happy. We have to have that down to the bone happy, where we've dealt with all of the garbage in our life, and we've dealt with our unhappy childhood issues. We've dealt with abuse, whatever kind of abuse it was, and we're totally empowered. There's no room for disease in a body like that. It can't function, because the body will then take on a higher frequency, a higher vibration, so it doesn't become a match for the lower vibration of any disease.
So could you say the opposite then? The people who they're out of work, they're trying to figure out how to make their house payment, maybe or the electricity bill is coming due, their girlfriend dumped them because now they're not making any money. Maybe that could all weigh on people, and that person's more likely to catch the COVID.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's people that are emotionally vulnerable that end up being physically vulnerable. Okay. And we're not putting that correlation together because we're not looking at the whole body. The body is an energy producer. Think about mitosis in the cells. That's creation of energy in the cells. So we are all creating our own energy. And how we do that depends on how we feel.
Well, can a mere mortal like me, how do you dump all the trash out and get rid of that and just get into happiness so there's no room left for the disease to come in?
Well, happiness is a choice. That's the pisser part about it. Yeah. Seriously, it's a choice. And you could go stand by a light switch and flip it up and decide to be happy, and you could flip it down and decide to be miserable. I mean, there's homeless people living under bridges that are happy.
Yep. Seen them.
Really, there's people that have nothing that are happy. They're choosing that. So
well, they're not worried about their house payment, and they're not worried about their electric bill and things like that. And that's a lot of the garbage that just weighs us down.
Sure. So I always tell people to get your power back, because that's usually the first thing that we run into when we're children. Is we're born powerful, we know we've come here to create our own life and our own happiness, and then little by little people take our power and they say, you can't because you're a girl, you're a boy, you're too stupid, you're too short, you're too ugly, whatever. So by the time we hit puberty, we're a mess. Yeah. We feel totally worthless and disempowered. And so just by writing letters to those who've taken your power and then burning those letters while you say out loud, nobody's ever going to treat me like that again, that is the simple way to get your power back.
Wow.
And then if it's an abusive spouse, if it's an abusive friend, if we've run into things that were horrible in our life, even an abusive boss, we've all had one of those. Yep. And then process that negativity out so we're not carrying it around with us. And that's the best thing that we can do. Because if you're empowered, then you're not going to allow anyone to hurt you either.
Right. And again, go to terryjaycom and find out more about that, right?
Absolutely.
Now, we're talking about COVID, but I'm realizing the message you're giving us is for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get over a lot of stuff. You need to get over a lot of stuff just for a fuller and happier life. Get all that old stuff out.
Right, right. I even got asked when I met my husband, who's my middle school boyfriend, and we got together after 47 years apart.
Oh, my gosh.
But people say, well, aren't you happy now? And I make a face and go, well, I was happy before he came into my life. Yeah. One had nothing to do with the other. Am I glad he's here? Oh, my goodness, yes. He's a treasure. He's an absolute treasure. I'm so glad to have him as my companion. But does he make me happy? No, that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they make dependencies where they depend on another person for their happiness, and it's a double-edged sword. It can make them unhappy too.
Right, that's true, definitely. Now, and I should have told you before we started the interview, it's a little different format. We go a little longer, but I'm always regret after we talk that we don't have as much time, so I have a little more time this time. Tell me about the book. Is your book, Cowgirl Shaman, is it kind of the same theme as what we've been talking about?
It's sort of a little bit autobiographical. It tells how I got started because I heard a nonverbal child speak to me. That's how I got started, and that was way back in 1990. And that the suggestion was made to learn to communicate with the horses in the handicap riding program because, it's the same thing, and all animals are telepathic. And then one thing has just led to another. And now I know there's no limits on these abilities. And after I'd been doing it several years, I thought, okay, how am I doing this?
Yeah.
What am I doing physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically? What am I doing? How am I able to do these kinds of things? And so then I just got to writing, and it took me a long time to really write the book to where I was happy and comfortable with it as an easy way to learn, because everybody has these abilities.
Now,
and so it's
so
go ahead.
everybody has these abilities, and
Absolutely.
I think that's one good thing about your book, from what I've heard about it, is that it shows your path where you got there, or how you figured it out, how you figured out you're doing it, and that others may be able to do this as well.
Right. We're all born with 10 senses, 5 physical and 5 energetic or spiritual senses. And it's intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. And we all have all of those. And we turn it off in childhood because we probably freak out some adult, and with those intuitive abilities. And so it's just a matter of learning to turn them back on. This is not woo-woo stuff. It's physics.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's different about my approach is I'm a cowgirl. I'm down to earth. I'm out there cleaning up horse manure twice a day, every day. And so then I come inside and work in the ethers. But to me, if I didn't have physics, I probably couldn't do this work, because physics explains what I do: energy, frequency, vibration.
Well, I always felt that these abilities are trained out of people from a very young age.
Yes.
Say, you can't do this, you can't do that, or
Right.
no, that's not this and that's not that. And I've
Right.
seen people do that. We had, kind of off this subject, but I had 3 kids, and I watched their mom teach them not to eat certain things.
Right.
And I took all 3 to our Rotary Club Christmas lunch, and the wife couldn't make it. And the little kid climbed up on the table, grabbed the salad, and started eating the salad. I almost started to say, no, you guys don't like salad, remember? But he didn't know. He had not been trained yet.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's just kind of an example. We teach our little kids certain things.
Right.
How
right.
to act,
And,
no, that's not right. Or, they might hear something or into something. Is that
Right.
a word? Into or intuit something? And
little kids often will have an invisible friend. And we try to tell them they don't have an invisible friend, that's just their imagination, or that they've got a wild imagination. Well, how do we know they're not playing with the spirit of a deceased child? We don't know that.
Now, you probably already know I'm a skeptic because you're very intuitive, but when your first instance was communicating with a non-communicative kid?
A nonverbal child that had
Nonverbal
cerebral palsy.
And also with animals and the horses. And is the communication always, when we think that, we think you're hearing words, like they're communicating through English words, but
It can be.
Okay.
It can be, but often it's a taste, a smell, a sound, a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
With the dogs, when I talk to dogs, they're always giving me smells.
Because that's how they think and communicate.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Their whole world is about scents.
Okay.
And with horses, it's a lot about pain. They're asked to do a job that they're not really designed to do. They're designed to graze and run from predators, and that's it.
Yeah. We have them running down the racetrack and sometimes fracturing a bone just doing that.
Well, they're raised too young. Horses are raised way too young. But I do a lot of barrel horses, and I have a lot of professional barrel racers that are my clients and been my clients for years. They'll even have me look at a horse before they purchase it. And I can tell them all kinds of things about that horse.
Wow.
So it's pretty interesting what they share with me. It's very interesting. Very specific pain issues.
Okay. Now, and I keep pulling you away from your great points you're making. We're talking about your book. Let's go back to that. Who should be buying your book?
I think everybody should, especially people that want to do intuitive communication, all healthcare workers that have to work with people that are in a coma, persistent vegetative state, that are just unconscious, anybody that needs to be able to communicate with people that can't communicate in traditional ways.
Yeah.
They even have communication devices for like some autistic kids and some kids that are nonverbal. They have communication devices. And there's a whole segment of our population that has severe Alzheimer's and they don't communicate anymore.
Mm-hmm. But
and
they still
with intuitive
feel and have pain and
Right.
have issues that they can't communicate. Yeah.
Right. But they're still in there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so my second book is in process right now, and that is exactly what I'm writing about, is intuitive communication. Because there's so many people that can really benefit by it, and especially if you've got a loved one or a family member that's in a coma or has had a stroke and is nonverbal, has communication issues. I mean, it can apply to so many millions of people in the United States.
Yeah. Now, can people communicate with you? Can people call you or make an appointment or schedule a session with you?
Absolutely, and I'm really reasonable. I want to keep my rates low so that people can always get a hold of me and have a reading. It's only $50 and $90 for a half hour,
Nice.
and there's no limit on the number of subjects that we can do in a session, which to me that should be that way. I've had people say, well, so you only do one horse? And I think no. And then, well, I went to somebody else and they only allowed one animal per reading.
Yeah.
And I think that's disgusting, really. It really is. That's abusing people.
Yeah.
So
And
I've done
again-
readings where I do 10 and 12 horses in a reading.
Wow. I mean, you're there. You go out to someone's ranch. They're not
No.
all bringing their horses to you, right? Or
No, I do it all by phone.
it's all by the phone. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I do it all over the world.
Okay.
So we can still social distance.
Nice. Well, and what about the idea of getting someone's head straight as they're, facing COVID? Again, over the phone could be a way you could talk somebody through getting their head in the right place for that.
Well, again, it's about empowerment. It's about raising your vibration. It's still about doing those smart things like taking vitamin D, boosting your immune system. There's lots of ways to boost immune system because the whole immune system is based in the intestines. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our guts.
Yeah.
And then having your head on straight so you're not living in fear, because fear lowers your vibration where love raises your vibration.
Okay.
And going into gratitude helps so much too. They've actually proven that going into gratitude actually changes your brain chemistry. That's incredible.
You mean being grateful for all kinds of
Everything.
things? Yeah.
Well, being grateful for what you have, but also being grateful for what you want as if you already have it. I mean, that works beautifully.
Yeah. We're out of time, unfortunately. I got a couple of minutes. Are you getting the smoke from our fires here? Is it drifting over to Nevada?
We've had a couple bad days, and you can see some of it, especially south of here. So that would be close to where you are.
Yeah.
But we're actually having a clear day, and it's cold.
Yeah.
We were in the 30s this morning.
Last couple of mornings, I thought the sun didn't come up because I'm awake. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I feel like this one I should be up, but it's still dark outside. The whole sun's obscured by the smoke from just up the road
We
from
actually
us.
had one day where a lot of the dogs in this area were afraid to go outside because they thought there were thunderclouds outside because it was so dark here.
Wow. Well,
It actually kept the temperature down.
Yeah. We love it when you come on. We want you to come on all the time. You're fascinating to talk to. But I just want to encourage everybody, start at terryjay.com. It's terrijay.com. And if you don't write it down or you don't get it, call me here at Central Valley Talk. I'll give you that web address. In fact, go to our YouTube channel, and Terri has a whole bunch of videos she's made with us here right on our YouTube channel. You could listen to all kinds of stuff. And if you do want a reading with her, you could either call her or do what I do. I am always asking her stuff like, where did I leave this item or where did I leave that item? I get it for free. It's a trick. Anyway, Terri Jay, last thoughts you want to say to our viewers?
No, I'm just honored to be here, and if anybody wants more confirmation of their own ability, I really encourage them to get my book. It's available on Amazon. It's The Cowgirl Shaman Way: 7 Easy Steps to Develop Your Intuitive Ability. It's also available on my website too.
Okay.
And it's an easy, simple way to really enhance the abilities you already have or to start from scratch.
Yeah. Well, let's challenge our viewers. Go to terryjay.com. Buy 10 of the books. Give them to your friends for Christmas. We always give stuff out for Christmas that people don't need, and you're just looking for something to buy. You could change someone's life with this book, terryjay.com, and the book is Cowgirl Shaman. Thank you, Terri.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time. We'll be back with more Newsmakers right after this.